Back here with Catrina Allen. Welcome to Portland, Catrina.
Thank you.
I want to get right into reliving a really special moment back in 2014, your first world title at Blue Lake, which we will be at this weekend for the first two rounds. How does it feel to be playing that course?
I actually watched the Disc Golf Pro Tour just posted some highlights, if you will, from the final 9, which I think was like round 7. So, I actually watched the last hole of the final 9 just because I wanted to see how I played that hole 8 years ago or whatever. And man, I just remember being so calm and like confident and collected, and just like my thoughts were so good. And so, yeah, I'm excited to go back there and maybe try to, get some of that going.
Can you tell us specifically at Blue the difference between Catrina Allen in 2014 and now?
I was really tiny. I feel like I could bench press her. But also just, so much growth too, even though, like I said, I felt so calm and collective. I feel like I've made leaps and bounds as a golfer. Like my sidearm's so good. I've gained some distance. Working on a new putt. It's kind of fun to see my old putt. But yeah, it's the same old course. So, yeah.
And have you had a chance to practice here at Glendower?
Yep, I played 2 rounds last. Yeah.
That's great. So let's hear it from Catrina.
Okay.
What's the practice plan? What's it going to take out here at Glendower?
Man, I feel like, I guess I'm trying to give you a short, because I'm like going through all the holes. And then even today I was like walking to hole 4. I'm like, what even is hole 4? Because it's such a fresh and new course. But really I'm noticing the basket is definitely guarded by trees. And so really knowing if my miss on my approach shots are long, short, right, left. I feel like because of the way the trees are placed, there's going to be a lot of different routes. So after yesterday, today was just like, I'm going to choose the one route and just commit to that, and just whatever happens, happens. So, yeah.
And before I give up the mic, I want to ask one more question. We are at the halfway point in the season. You've had some amazing finishes. You've had some amazing comeback final rounds.
Yeah.
What is it that, if you were going to say your top 2 goals for the rest of the season, what does Kat want to accomplish?
Just get back in the hunt, lead some tournaments. Find that confidence that was just like spewing in the beginning of the season. Find that for sure.
Excellent. Well, good luck this weekend. And here's Grant from the PDGA.
Thank you, Zoe.
Hi, Kat.
Hey.
2 weeks ago, you finished 9th at OTB, which was your first finish outside the top 5 in 2022.
I knew you guys were going to ask me about that. God.
At this point in your career, with your experience, your understanding of how long a season is, does that even really register at all? And if it does, how so?
How come you never asked about me not placing out of the top 9 for like my whole career? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. I just feel like, man, you mess up out here and you guys are going to drill me about it. I don't know. It was just a bad weekend. Maybe ran some putts on some elevated greens with an elevated basket where I hit the cage and rolled back, and then went for the next putt, rolled back, went for the next putt, rolled back. So it was kind of unfortunate because I felt like if I looked at all but 3 holes, I played really consistent and great, pars and birdies, maybe a bogey here and there. But like I said, just made some bad decisions. And other than that, like I said, I feel like I've been one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent player for the last 12 years. And I don't know. I'm a human. I made a mistake, had a rough weekend. I don't know what you guys want.
It was still a top 10. It was still a great weekend. Well, let's take things in a more positive direction. You obviously have positive vibes from Blue Lake. You sound like you appreciate a lot of things about the Glendower course. Is there a particular part of this weekend where you feel like that's the stretch of holes where you can make a move?
No, I never think of that, to be honest with you. I'm never thinking, anything like that, because that just always gets me in the wrong mindset. thinking like, oh, these are my holes, and then what, I don't birdie them, so now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't birdie these holes, and so now I'm behind, and then I'm pushing. I think with 2 courses, one being a new course, and Blue Lake having a lot of out of bounds and a lot of trouble you can get into, I think the best thing I can do is just really do my best to take the round for how it's going and try not to push because I'm not shooting as well as I think I should, and just really stay in the moment. Like I said, yeah, there's definitely holes where I'm like, oh, okay, I can throw some rollers here, have an advantage here, but like I said, I'm really just going to take it one shot at a time this week.
What parts of your game will you have to rely on the most this week?
I feel like I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing my putters, I'm throwing my mids, rollers, sidearms. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to throw all the shots.
Thanks, Kat.
Yeah.
Hello, Kat.
Hi.
So you mentioned to Zoe that earlier you said you were working on kind of a new putt, and
Yeah.
I had noticed throughout this entire season your putting stroke looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know you said at OTB there were some goofy putts that you missed, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's coming out with a lot of pace.
Yeah.
It's hitting the chains with a lot of authority, and you look like a better putter than you've ever been. Talk about coming up with a new putt as a
Yeah.
professional player that's had all this success and has had to reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
So I guess this off season, I had talked that I was starting with my wrist curled, and I felt like that was really causing some inconsistencies. So got the putter more straight, and then actually during this off week, I still, even though I'm hearing that a lot, like my putt's coming out with more speed, I still don't feel like it's like there yet. So I did some, homework, if you will, watched some YouTube on some of the putters I look up to, and kind of realized that my grip was maybe just a little different than most people with some good, similar putts to mine, but more speed. And so adjusted the fingers a little bit, and that's been really fun. But you were talking about, like you said, have you been playing for so long? How do you adjust, or how does that look? It's exciting for me. We were all just kind of talking about golf, and I think that's why after 12 years, I'm still like adjusting my game and trying new shots, and why I love disc golf so much is that there's never a time where there's not something you can be adjusting or working on or trying to keep up with the pace of the game.
Well, one last question. I'm going to abstract a bit. I know people have already asked you about this tournament. Specifically, we know
Yeah.
you've won worlds here, but when it comes to throwing the disc, not just putting the disc,
Yeah.
what is your most satisfying shot shape to throw with a backhand?
Any kind of hyzer flip shot for sure. I know I was thinking about, when Zoe was asking me about the course in Glendower and things. There's a bunch of like 330, 340 shots where I'm going to take my pipeline on some hyzer, let it flip up, turn a little bit, and come back. And I don't know. That's just my most favorite to execute. Like when I do it well, I know that it's just my favorite.
Well, good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.